It's December 1st. And since the last time you've heard an episode of Cold Cans, a lot has changed in the world. Perhaps most noticeably, our new president-elect, Joe Biden. From beginning to end, Joe Biden's campaign focused heavily on President Trump's encouragement of white supremacy. His campaign launch video was all about Trump's refusal to unambiguously condemn racist violence. And at the final debate, Biden declared Trump pours fuel on every single racist fire and has since vowed in his campaign to restore the soul of the nation. But is the soul of our nation restorable? Or are we so steeped in violence and objectification of others that the American ethos is beyond the pale? This attitude is perhaps most acutely captured in art, maybe none so much so as prominent and famous as A Clockwork Orange, a novel set in a futuristic Britain that follows Alex, a young delinquent who commands his army of droogs into his attitude of ultra-violence. The film chronicles the horrific crime spree of his gang, his capture and rehabilitation via experimental psychological conditioning technique. And while the reviews were mixed at the time, over the years, more people have a chance to think about this film, and it's now considered relatively favorable. Spanish director Luis Buñuel praised the film highly and once said, "A Clockwork Orange is my current favorite film. I was predisposed against it, but after seeing it, I realized it's only a movie about what the modern world really means." Of course,
We should keep that point for later in the episode. He hated it until he saw it. Let's talk about that. Keep going.
Of course, A Clockwork Orange is based on the novel of the same name by writer Anthony Burgess, who, before writing A Clockwork Orange, his first novel he penned as Time for a Tiger, based on a popular advertising campaign of the most popular beer in Malaya of the 1950s, where Burgess was working. Burgess reveals in his autobiography that when his Time for a Tiger was published, he asked the manufacturer, then Fraser and Neve, for a complimentary clock with a Tiger beer slogan. The brewery declined to offer this or any other free gift to him. But 14 years later, when Burgess was more famous, it relented. In 1970, the company offered Burgess the privilege to consume any of their beers free of charge while in Singapore, where it was based. However, in his own words, Burgess wrote in response, "But it was too late. I had become wholly a gin man." Is it too late to restore the soul of America, as Joe Biden has promised? Is it too late to restore the listenership of Cold Cans after a month on hiatus? We'll find out today's episode, where we drink Tiger Lager beer. Cheers, Nick.
Cheers, Joe.
We're back.
We are back. Well done with that intro. That was like sort of off the dome.
It really was.
In some ways.
Started preparing it about 5 minutes ago. I feel pretty good about it.
Well,
stumbled a little bit.
That's true of most of them, but like this one, you did a great job of bringing together multiple elements.
I swear to God, that last part of the "Is it too late" just came to me on the spot because I hadn't.
No, that was perfect.
That. Thank you.
That was
Appreciate
perfect.
it.
We both laughed at that line about "It's too late. I'm a gin man now," and you did. Yeah, perfect job of incorporating that in.
Wow.
Rarely seen in Cold Cans. A job well done.
Oh, man. I hope you edit some of the stumbles so it just looks perfect.
I'm editing nothing.
Damn it.
I've got a little twist for you as well. So today we're recording.
Even when you interrupted and said that we should use some anecdote later?
We'll see. We got a twist.
All right, go
We're
ahead.
recording straight into Anchor.fm, proud sponsor of Cold Cans Podcast today.
Sure
and
are.
when you do it straight into the browser, there's a 30-minute limit on your recording.
Okay.
So we're already 4 minutes in, baby. We're burning time.
Oh, no. How's sip one?
It's sort of what I've had this before. I had it, as listeners probably know by now, both you and I have traveled to Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
I had it when I was there. Tasted much like this.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a skunky, though light, drinkable beer.
Yeah, I think it gets away with it a little bit in Southeast Asia because it's so hot and humid there that nothing's
Keeps
better
the
than a
ice
cold beer.
Hell yeah.
So it doesn't matter skunk flavor; it's going to taste so fucking good, like that sweaty bottle on the.
Give me that ice cold
sun.
skunk juice, baby.
Well, yeah, I'll take skunk juice all day.
BSB.
But it's still good. I mean, both of us, this is our first sip of beer since October 30th when the last Cold Cans aired.
Yeah, when we made that vow We'll actually sign that document that said we would only drink on the Cold Cans podcast.
I know. Yeah. And our listeners have pleaded with us for months to just stop doing this show. We are not going to listen anymore, though. You know, there's money to be made with Anchor, and that brought us back.
The economy looking the way it is, we got to get every stream of income going. You know, I'm very interested in passive income. Did I ever tell you that story?
I think you could relay it again.
So
maybe anonymize the names.
I don't even remember who it was. It was on a podcast recording, and they were talking about personal finance or something. And this guest, like, from the mouths of babes, as they say, or something, but obviously a completely stupid statement. They were just like, you know what? I'm really interested in passive income. You know, shit.
Fascinating. Me too. It turns out. I would love to lose weight and not do anything at all. Passive weight loss. I'm super interested.
Oh man. And it wasn't followed up either by just like,
well, how do you
what are some steps to, to get there? Like, what is a great way to get started down that path?
No, I don't think you understand.
Now
sir.
Tell me the 3 easy steps I can do to get passive income.
Exactly.
Going.
You don't understand. I'm interested in passive income. So work to get there is also off the table, my friend.
Oh yeah.
Man, that is some absolute insight. That's also the state of podcasting today. I mean, as evidenced by this show, you could just start a podcast saying whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, and make what, tens of thousands a month?
Right. Not that we're going to divulge our incomes.
That's just a rough estimate.
And again, because of our Patreon and our listeners paying us the amount that they did to not do a show for a month, we did have to take 1 month off, but
that would be interesting.
Last forever.
You think any podcast has done that before? I'm sure they have. It's too funny not to have.
Will they pay us not to do
content? We won't release if we get 100 platinum tier subscribers on our Patreon.
They get 10,000 signed up overnight. Please. Oh man.
So you wanted to use the intro as well to introduce some things to talk about during this episode.
Yeah, I have a Post-it note here where I wrote down some things to talk about.
So what's your note keeping? You got to just Post-it note thing on your desk, and if you have a spare thought, you just kind of jot it down, or what's your method?
That's a good question. I have an app called Todoist, and that's where I put in most of my notes for like work. Somebody in a meeting's like, gotta do this thing. I'll write it down there, and then you can snooze it and move it around to different days. This was a Post-it note because I didn't want to type, and I was just sitting there. The computer was off. I don't like typing on my phone, so yeah, Post-it note. I do assemble Post-it notes, then they get transcribed into my note-taking software. Now we've hit the interesting content, baby. How about you? What's your?
I think it's kind of fun. I just have like random paper pads around, and we'll write stuff down.
Sure.
I don't think it's a great method, honestly.
Do you put them into a system anywhere?
Well, if it's something I actually have to do, yes, it gets stuck to my like second monitor.
So you see it, you go, fuck, I got to get to that.
Yes.
Or not get to it, but I'm conscious of not getting to it.
Right. But if it's just a random idea or like an idea for a story or something like that, it usually just gets put in the pile to one day go through and see if there's anything there.
I think that's an important distinction. There's notes of like, here's my slush pile of stuff like ideas, creative things.
Yep.
And then there's like, I'm trying to get everything I need to do in a given day in a place. And that's why Todoist works great, because you write it down. You can either do it that day and then mark it as done, or you can write it down and like put the date of it to be like next Tuesday. The next Tuesday morning, it comes up at like 1:00 in the morning, and I wake up and that's my list of stuff to do that day.
Yeah.
That works great.
I started using Todoist a couple of years ago off your recommendation. And now over the past year, I have snoozed the same 2 notifications for, I think, the past year. Because I just don't use it anymore, and I haven't gone in through the trouble of ending the notifications.
Wow.
And it's not something I need to do anymore.
Wow. Truly amazing there.
What
just delete it.
No.
Yeah, it does get annoying, and you start to become this like beholden to the list, and I feel anxious if I'm not done with it.
Right.
I don't like that either. I've given myself forgiveness for just marking things off if I don't care anymore, or just moving everything to further out. I don't know. Yeah, you can't get too wrapped up in it. It has to be a balance. I did not have list management written down. I had election written down. But there's, I don't know what else is there.
Being president is just a series of lists, Joe. That's all it is.
What a bleak way to look at life.
That's all it is.
That things are just a series of lists.
Check those boxes
and then die.
The final checkbox.
I do it. It's in my Todoist. I snooze it, thankfully, but I do have die just written.
Yeah. Write out will, buy coffin, so wife
and I've done all
doesn't
that.
have to. Oh, you've done that already. Wow,
it was on
those
the
are
list.
checked.
I wanted to get it done. So now just die is left.
Okay, who's going to check that box, though?
I snoozed out to Saturday. It'll truly be the last unchecked box, I guess, for me. Well, now that you know this, I hope you pull my phone out of my pocket. Like they pull me out of the river. I'm all bloated to shit. And you pull my phone out of my pocket. The detective says, "Don't touch that. What are you doing?" And you say, "I have to. It's my last promise."
It's in his will. And check it. And it's not in your will. I'm accused of murder, and I spend the rest of my days in prison.
And there's, yeah. But you do it anyway.
I do it anyway.
That's the kind of friend you are.
I to do it anyway.
And there's just 2 items left: die and get back to Mark about that work item but I forgot to check that off. See, you also Mark, you check that off too.
I use my one phone call when I get taken in to call Mark.
Hey, he wanted me to get back to you. What are you doing? Why are you calling me about this? I heard about his passing. He just wants those designs being by next Monday.
All right, delay no further. I'm in at 11.
Oh shit! Yeah, we're on a clock. What happens if we go over?
I don't know. I think it just stops. We could restart one, obviously, and join it. I think
maybe that'll be fun. Like this is all time box this episode, so like we'll go right to the minute and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah,
truly like life, a series of lists
like Y2K. Remember that, folks?
Yeah,
Y2K.
Folks. Yeah, let's get into Y2K bits. Okay, here's the other thing I have written down. Man, I said Taco Bell and Jack in the Box have similarities where they're both like the Doughboys always calls them like the Willy Wonka, like Taco Bell, they call the Willy Wonka fast food thing where they're trying Doritos, tacos and new chalupas and, different kind of combinations that everybody likes and has fun.
Oh, sure.
Here's my theory. J-Box also is globbed onto that. That's not a theory. That's true. They're trying wacky, weird burgers and stuff.
Yeah.
Mexican food, at least shitty off-brand Mexican food, can make it work because that like shitty cheese and stuff. There's something.
Yeah.
It doesn't ruin
ingredients,
and it doesn't ruin the integrity of the thing. Like a Doritos Locos taco with a bunch of awful cheese and stuff on it. It like you still can hold it. It's a taco and you can eat it. Jack in the Box does this with burgers, and when you do it with burgers, it just destroys the bread like completely. You can't even hold it. It's a big grease mess.
Yeah, you have too many condiments and
it gets too big. You can't hold it. It's just a fucking mess, and it's just inedible. So the Willy Wonka fast food stuff only works for foods which will structurally hold up.
Wow,
that's it. That's my thought.
A very important point. Wow.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Have you had a lot of experiences with J-Box? We got burgers once there, and so you've gone back.
So that actually leads to the point then.
Oh, okay.
When we went,
there was a point.
We got there number one.
Please make your point, Mr. Glock. I'm watching you.
We only got 18. I'm watching you. What are you doing here? Who is this?
I'm a judge.
Okay.
You're a lawyer in court.
Yeah.
Please get to the point, Mr. Glock.
I will, Your Honor. To get to my point, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, when we went, we got a number one at J-Box. It was their classic burger, and it was good. When I've subsequently gone back, I've got their Willy Wonka stuff, and it was filled with stuff, and it just structurally broke down, and it was awful. J-Box, you don't need to be Taco Bell. You're good enough on your own. Enough with the bells and whistles. Are they? I think they are. We had that burger. It was really fucking good.
So does J-Box also does tacos, right?
Unfortunately, they do, and that doesn't work at all. Strip that away.
Okay.
I don't think they do Willy Wonka stuff with their Mexican food. They don't want to get into Taco Bell's turf.
Sure.
Next thing they know, Taco Bell will be making burgers, and now they're absolutely fucked. But Jack in the Box also does like chili cheese fries and stuff.
Okay.
If we have 18 minutes, let's get off this.
I would say I thought the number one was encroaching on Willy Wonka territory as well. There was a lot going on. It was a pretty messy burger.
With their meatloaf burger you didn't like.
Yeah, it was like a spiced beef log and Swiss cheese and then like tomato, lettuce, onion, like
fresh tomato, lettuce, and onion though. You gotta give them that.
That was good. The produce was good. Because we did have we talked about it on the show?
I
guess we probably did. We did a burger head to head.
Yeah,
Wendy's,
McDonald's Big Mac, BK. Wendy's Dave's Single, BK Whopper, and a Jack in the Box number one, Jack's Burger.
Yeah.
And Jack in the Box performed much stronger than we thought.
It did.
Big Mac
it was
much
our number
worse.
2,
yeah,
right?
Yep. Big Mac much worse than we thought. Just a clear bottom. That
clear
was a
letdown. Yep.
Whopper was fine, and then I think we all kind of agreed that Wendy's. I actually thought Jack in the Box was the best, but consensus Wendy's was the best, and Wendy's is so fucking good.
It was. It's just like what you want out of a fast food burger.
Very, very good.
It was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep next thing on the list.
Let's get through the list. I got to check everything off this list. I've been getting into washing my face better.
Oh, wow.
I never really used to do that.
We're halfway through, by the way.
But it hasn't really done anything. I don't feel anything different.
Right, yes.
Check that off the list.
No, I agree. I've said this for a long time to close confidants and family. I didn't wash my face,
but you never said it to me. I want to call
out. Well, that should tell you all you need to know. I never washed my face ever.
Sure, you're in the shower, you give it a little bit of scrub or whatever.
Right. Water, yes, water in the shower.
Yeah.
Incidentally, from when I wash my hair.
Mm-hmm.
Never had problems with zits or anything like that, which I get is like a genetic blessing. I know some people there's nothing you can do about it.
Sure.
But I have since, 3 years ago, since I moved out here to the elite coasts and told that I need to look hot, I started exfoliating and like using some better moisturizers and stuff. There's not a difference.
No.
It's all the same.
No, it's the same. It's all bullshit.
It's just,
you don't need to invest in it.
It's just stimulating the economy at this point. That's all it is.
Which we need to do.
We do. Yeah, that's our burden as an American.
Until Operation Warp Speed saves us. Speaking of Operation Warp Speed, we're down to about a third of the beer left in Tiger. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm about halfway through. I think it's getting better as it goes down, honestly. It's one of those beers. That first sip was just sort of like, well, I don't really want to drink this, but it's been getting better.
A lot of these kind of skunk juice beers do get better as they go down. I don't know if you get drunk or you just get used to the taste.
Probably used to the taste, yeah. I mean, it's only 5% ABV, so you're probably not really getting drunk, but...
Yeah, they're real nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I like it too. The last is some character stuff I was going to do that I don't want to do.
You don't want to do it anymore?
It was, okay.
You could...
It's Jesse Ventura, and I'm here to tell you that I can tell you for certain, there are not billions of people in the world. There are hundreds of people in the world. I know this for a fact, because every single one of you should ask yourself, just ask yourself, sit down and look in the mirror and literally physically ask yourself, have you ever met billions of people? Because that's enough to know. If we all ask that to ourselves, we'll all know there aren't billions of people. There's hundreds of people in the world. It's mostly people I know, celebrities that I see on TV, and people I know. Those are the only people. There's 100 people in the world. What do you think?
Who's watching you on the TV, Jesse? Who voted for you for the governor of Minnesota? You had
massive voter fraud.
Hundreds of thousands of votes. Massive voter fraud.
Massive voter fraud. Just like Joe Biden voted for himself in Pennsylvania 10,000 times. I literally did in Minnesota vote for myself 10,000 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also how Barry Obama got elected. I don't want to be Jesse anymore. It hurts my throat.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
No, this is a funny point, though, and it came up in one of our discussions around the election when people are like, some of the people who were claiming voter fraud were like, I only saw Trump signs in my city. How could Biden have won? Because there's
300 million people in America.
Right. It's certainly a fringe opinion, I think, when someone says like, well, all I see are Biden or
Trump said signs. He said, look how big our rallies are.
Did he?
How could I lose?
Right. Look at all the boat parades. Yeah,
how could I lose?
All that.
There's 1,000 people here.
I know. It's a funny take that
it's funny
somehow is taken seriously.
So that's my list.
That was fun. I liked the Jesse bit.
Thanks, buddy.
Though Jesse, we saw do a mask PSA.
He did. We saw a commercial where he put a mask on,
like a Minnesota State PSA.
He must have withered and died inside. And when he had to do that,
they save it for the very end too. He's the last one because they have like 10 different figures from Minnesota politics, not politics, like sports, whatever, culture, everything. And then he's the last one to snap that mask on, and you can tell he doesn't want to do it.
No, but he could go so much further with that. He could be like, I wore a mask. The last time I encountered a mask was when I fought Rey Mysterio in the SummerSlam of 1993. But now we need to do it again or something like that, you know?
That would have been fun. He should have done something on his own Twitter feed or Instagram.
He should have. Oh, maybe he did. I don't want to pay attention
I don't
to
follow
Jesse
him online either.
I hope I don't, ever follow Jesse Ventura.
Oh, that's too bad.
How are we doing on time?
Shame. Remember, we're at 1937.
This is a Hitchcock-esque episode here where we know the bomb under the table is going to go off.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Which is Anchor, a fine service, though it limits you to 30 minutes of recording.
Fine. Yeah, it is fine.
They have to be able to, you probably press stop and then you press record again for your next chunk.
And you think you can just push those two together, Joe?
I would think so, because everything gets saved as like an audio
so too,
clip.
Right. Now I have a little parable or terrible
All right,
here. Once we're getting into
just in
it,
case we can't.
As I said, I drank this when I was in Thailand and Vietnam, actually. But my little parable or terrible comes to us from the land of Thai.
The land down under of Thailand.
Something popular in Thai cooking, and might pair well with a ice cold beer.
Peanuts is my guess.
A little spicy bird's eye chili.
Oh no. Uh-oh.
Now you don't have to do it. If you're a coward, you can dip out. You obviously don't eat the whole thing. Now bird's eye chilies are pretty spicy. I looked them up on the whatever Rory Scovel rating or whatever the heat rating is.
Rory Scoville
rating. This is somewhere between habanero and jalapeno.
Wow.
And as you can hear the seeds in there, because these are dried chilies.
Okay.
And now in that cooking class that both of us, just take a nib off of it, just a nib.
Okay.
In that cooking class you took,
the nib,
which is the same one I did.
Yeah.
Did you pick some bird's eye chilies for your cooking?
I don't recall. We did. I think we did pick some chilies, so maybe it was this.
Yeah.
We weirdly took the same cooking class and didn't coordinate that.
No, we did not.
Cool. All right, here we go.
Joe's going for it. I'm just going to bite the tip too.
It's not like
Uh-oh.
It's overwhelmingly hot when you swallow it. Oh, mama. Oh, mama, oh, papa.
Did you get a seed in yours?
Mama and papa. Yep.
Okay, well that's the problem.
Mama and papa.
I didn't get a seed because I was trying to be smart. I shook them all down to the base by the stem. It's just a nice sort of like smoky flavor when you don't get a seed.
Mama, that's what Papa make joy.
Oh no. Are you all right, Joe? Did the beer help at all?
A little bit.
Put out the fire?
Yeah, there's a fire inside. I don't know if I can put it out. Oh, terrible. My assessment is terrible.
Oh.
The Thai, what is it? Chicken popper seed? Or what is it?
Bird's eye chili.
Bird's eye chili.
Not associated with the company Bird's Eye, famously making frozen vegetables.
What is your assessment? Oh.
Without the seed, without the heat, it was actually pretty parable. But we can say terrible because I do believe it. Thank you for committing to it, though, and actually
committed to it. You're going to kill me.
I'll commit you to an institution.
Yeah, actually,
pry your eyes open, make you watch a little corrective film.
Oh, that's a callback. We're on it. We're on it.
The little clock goes round and round, Joe. Round and round.
Time is a flat circle. What about that? Do we like that now, or do we not like it? I thought we didn't like True Detective anymore.
Oh, really?
As a society. No, we didn't like True Detective season 2. That's right.
Right. I was going to say, I think season 1 is still, and 3. Yeah.
Cool.
3's the one with Mahershala Ali, right?
Yeah. I wish I didn't know what we like and didn't like. I'm sick of knowing that.
This sort of gets into the point I was going to make about the critic hated the film until he watched it. Yeah. So this sort of plays into that. I'm so tired of that. Everything. I got into a discussion with Alyssa today about Sia, the musical artist, apparently directed a film that I didn't. Again, I'm talking about it and I didn't know anything about it either, so I'm part of the problem here. But the discussion was around a Twitter controversy. Sia's directing a movie about a child with autism who basically feels alive through dance.
Okay.
And in their mind. And Sia cast someone in the lead role that the role has the person in the role does not have autism, but the character does. So there's a bit of a controversy around it. And Sia was sort of unapologetic about having done so. And I'm just like, all of that controversy was based off the trailer. So no one has seen the movie. No one really knows what the representation is like. And I respect people trying to stick up for, people who don't necessarily have a voice on these, like when a feature film is being made. But you watch the film and then you can kind of complain about it. That's what I don't like about Twitter and that whole like sudden like fire off a take thing.
It's profits though, clicks, headlines. Twitter's just we can all create.
What do you think
just
about
the
Twitter?
headlines.
I haven't come across this because I don't post much, but Twitter tried to do a thing where you had to have clicked on the article to retweet it. So in theory, you had to read some of it at least to retweet it.
It's a good idea. A step in the right direction.
I think it is too.
But I'm not going to applaud them. This is a problem they created.
Right.
So fucking great.
Right.
You're finally coming to the rescue. I was just telling you this. I was watching Ted Lasso. Great
Ted
show
Lasso
on Apple Plus.
Jason Sudeikis.
And he quotes Walt Whitman in one of the episodes. The quote is, "Be curious, not judgmental." I think this fits that. We all have to have a judgment instead of like sit down and actually be curious and ask what's going on there and why, and to understand the motivations. And no, we have to leap to the conclusion that this is a problem because this person is an insensitive fucking asshole.
Right.
Maybe not always the case. Sometimes it is the case, but at least we can ask why and then find out whether or not it is.
Right. And I think the thing is, you can't often come to a complete judgment on that after, one back and forth on Twitter with a celebrity. Like you can't, that's not being curious by getting one hot take from them. Like,
right.
I think things take more work than a lot of us are willing to do when it comes to having an opinion on something. It's so much easier to just fire something off. Hot take.
I don't have any take on
insidious.
That assessment. I completely agree with you. It's insidious. It's toxic. And again, that doesn't mean we shouldn't hold people to a high standard.
Right. Of course.
Of empathy.
There's a balance there. Yeah.
But a high standard while after understanding what happened, rather than just leaping to some conclusion.
For clout.
But clout's profitable, baby. How else am I going to grow my Instagram following? That's on you. That's your assessment.
The audience like this one.
The audience like this one. This is a pretty tight episode. We should always be time boxed. Listeners would be thrilled.
Maybe, truly. Because sometimes we get into it and we're like, well, what else? Huh? What else?
I should always write down post-its.
Comic at an open mic night.
Yeah. Who hasn't really earned the ability to say, well, what else?
Right, yeah. Because no one wants their take on it.
It can be nothing. That's what you'd like to say. that could be fine. All right. What's our time?
We're at 27:08.
Oh shit, we got to rush through the rankings then and the Beer Advocate.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll do Beer Advocate quick.
Right.
This is from Asia Pacific Breweries Limited, which is a subsidiary of Heineken, I believe we read earlier. A little copy here. Tiger was born on the hot streets of Singapore, the tropical island city-state, a busy trading destination and melting pot of Asian, Indian, and British influences and culture. The tropical lagering process brews a bravely creative and unpretentious lager. The result is the intensely refreshing, full-bodied taste of one of the world's fastest-growing premium beers. Which is interesting because this beer has been around since the 30s, I think we read. Also, it is 5% ABV. A lager European pale is the style, and its ranking is a 64 or poor. Now, is this pour me another?
Pour ourselves another. Okay, so I'm going through the rankings. The thing is, this is a tough one because I like it, but I don't love it. And some of the other beers that I like, but
do
don't
you want
love,
some more of it?
That's what we have to ask ourselves. Some of the other beers I like, but don't love on our list have some other subjective quality that makes me like them. This for me doesn't totally, because I didn't have a lot of this when I was down there. I think I had one or two. You did though.
I had some. I tried to look for it in my Google Photos because you can like literally search. I searched Tiger beer and it popped up a picture from my trip to Thailand, which is something.
That's fucking terrifying.
And we, like the people I went with, we bought a 24-pack of cans of Tiger. And I do remember it was just like at a convenience store.
Yeah.
So widely available, certainly. I don't have like a ton connected to it. I think similar to what you said before the show, Chang beer was more of what I drank while I was there.
Yeah, that seems completely reasonable.
That's all I want to be is reasonable, baby.
Please be reasonable.
All right, 28
fiscally.
We're at 29. We got a minute.
All right, you want to 3, 2, 1 it?
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I found a spot.
I found a spot because we have a minute. Let's really scared about this. This sucks.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Can we pledge the listeners we'll come back for a wrap up if Anchor allows us?
Yes,
or they'll just hear this.
Pledge.
All right.
This we pledge.
3, 2, 1. 72. Okay. 72. So you have it way lower. You have it at 89. I probably put it too high.
Were you trying to rip and replace Heineken?
No, I was going to put it right behind Heineken, bump everything else down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's at the bottom of our list right now?
I don't know. We don't have enough time to discuss it.
Not Your Father's Mountain Ale. That's fine. Let's put it there.
Goodbye to your Not Your Father's Mountain Ale.
Adios, papa.
We did that in November 3rd, 2017. Not Your Father's Cold Cans. It was tasted awful. What are we doing on time? How are we doing?
We got 10 seconds, allegedly.
Do you want to say anything else?
No, I have nothing else.
I
substance.
value our friendship. I value our listenership. I value this podcast. I think
I love you, Joe.